Hi everyone, and welcome to Fluent English Journey. I am really happy that you are here with me today. Thank you for taking the time to listen, learn, and grow together. This podcast is a place where you can practice your English, but it is also a place where you can think about life, feelings, and your personal growth. Every episode is a small step that helps you improve your English. At the same time, it helps you grow as a person. Each episode is like a little building block that adds up over time. Today, we are going to talk about a very special topic, becoming who you really are. At first, this may sound a little strange. You might think, but I already am who I am, right? That is a good question, and it is normal to think that way. The truth is, many people go through life without really knowing themselves deeply. They often live according to what others expect from them. They try to fit in, be liked, or make other people happy. Sometimes, we spend so much time trying to please others that we forget to listen to our own hearts. We forget what really makes us happy. So, what does it mean to become who you really are? It means learning to understand yourself, accept yourself, and live in a way that feels true to you. It is about discovering your strengths and weaknesses. It is about finding your passions and dreams. It is about understanding what makes you feel alive and what makes you happy. When you start becoming your real self, life begins to feel different. Making decisions becomes easier because they match your true feelings. You stop worrying so much about what other people think. You start to respect your own thoughts and emotions. You begin living a life that feels real, meaningful, and satisfying. This topic is not only important for life, but also very important for learning English. Learning English is more than memorizing grammar, learning vocabulary, or practicing pronunciation. Those things are helpful, but they are not the main goal. The real goal of learning English is communication. It is about expressing your ideas, feelings, dreams, and identity. When you know yourself better and start being your real self, your English becomes stronger and more natural. You speak with confidence because you are sharing something real. English is no longer just a school subject or a skill. It becomes a tool to connect with others and show who you really are. In this episode, we will explore some practical ways to know yourself better. We will talk about how to accept yourself fully, including your strengths and weaknesses. We will also discuss how to grow into the person you want to be. Remember, self-knowledge is a journey. It does not happen instantly. It requires reflection, honesty, and patience. You can start by asking yourself simple questions like, what do I love to do? What makes me happy? What kind of life do I want to live? It also means being brave enough to say no to things that do not match your values or priorities. Becoming who you really are is a lifelong journey, but it starts with small steps. You can start by paying attention to your thoughts and feelings. Notice what excites you. Explore your passions. Be honest when you communicate. Speak your truth gently but clearly. Share your ideas, feelings, and opinions. When you practice being yourself in English, you grow both as a person and as a communicator. English becomes more than a language you learn. It becomes a way to express your true self to the world. Let's take that first step together today. Let's explore who we really are, embrace ourselves fully, and use English as a tool to share our real selves. This will not only help you learn English better, but it will also help you live a happy, meaningful, and fulfilling life. Becoming who you really are is a journey, and every small step counts. By learning to know yourself, accept yourself, and express yourself honestly, you create a life that is truly yours. Many people face challenges when trying to become their true selves. Some common challenges are fear of judgment from others, self-doubt, constantly comparing yourself to others. These feelings are normal, but if we let them control us, they can hold us back. Don't worry, everything I explain in this episode will be in simple English, with examples and tips that you can use in your daily life. As you listen, try to relax and focus on yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest with yourself. This episode is not only about learning new words or phrases. It is about discovering your inner voice, the voice inside you that is sometimes quiet, but always present. Giving your inner voice the chance to speak is the first step toward becoming who you really are. By the end of this episode, I hope you feel inspired to take small but real steps toward your true self. And I hope this will help you use English more confidently, joyfully, and with purpose. Now, let's talk about what it really means to become who you really are. At first, it sounds simple, but in real life, it can be very difficult. Many people in the world are not truly living as themselves. Instead, they live in ways that others expect of them. From a young age, we are taught rules about what is right or wrong, what we should do, and who we should become. Parents, teachers, friends, and even social media all tell us what success looks like, what kind of job is good, how to behave, what to wear, and even which dreams are worth having. Slowly, without noticing it, we start to live a life that is not completely ours. We try to fit into a picture that someone else has created for us. Let's look at an example. Imagine a person who has loved painting and drawing since childhood. They dream of becoming an artist. Art makes them happy and alive. It feels like the thing they were born to do. But their parents do not think being an artist is a real or safe job. They want their child to become a doctor or an engineer because those jobs seem more stable and respected. To make their parents proud, the child stops pursuing art. They decide to study something else instead of following their passion. Over time, the love for art slowly fades into the background. They begin living a life that makes other people happy, but their own heart feels empty. Sadly, this story is very common. Many people do the same thing without even realizing it. We forget our passions, our true interests, and even our dreams. We follow paths that are chosen for us, not paths we truly want. And slowly, we begin to feel frustrated, unfulfilled, or even lost. Even if we seem successful in the eyes of others, something inside feels missing. The first step to becoming who you really are is to notice this pattern. You need to ask yourself simple but important questions like, what do I really enjoy doing? What makes me feel alive? Which dreams are truly mine, not someone else's? It is very important to listen to your heart and your feelings. This is not always easy. Fear, doubt, and pressure from others can make you hesitate. But you can start small. Start by noticing your true feelings. Take little steps toward what makes you happy. Slowly, you begin a journey toward living your own life, a life that feels real and meaningful. In this episode, we will also explore ways to overcome fear and self-doubt. We will learn how to stop comparing ourselves to others. These steps help you stay true to yourself while also communicating confidently in English. Remember, becoming your real self is a journey, not a destination. Every small step counts. Each step helps you grow stronger, happier, and more confident in life and in English. Continuing our story, imagine a person who loves painting but decides to follow their parents' wishes and study medicine instead. They work very hard, pass all the exams, and eventually become a doctor. From the outside, everything looks perfect. They have a respected career, a good income, and people admire them. On paper, it seems like they have it all. But deep inside, something feels missing. That person doesn't feel truly happy. There is a part of them, the artist inside, that never got a chance to live. That part of themselves is still there, quietly waiting to be noticed. Becoming who you really are means listening to your inner voice again. It means asking yourself honest questions. What truly makes me happy? What are my real dreams? What kind of life do I want to live? When you start answering these questions, you begin to reconnect with your true self. You stop trying to fit into other people's expectations and start living in a way that feels natural, peaceful, and real. Even if everything looks perfect on the outside, a good job, a nice house, admiration from others, if you are not following your own truth, you can still feel empty and confused. Every morning, you may wake up asking yourself, why am I doing this? What's the point? This happens when we live according to other people's rules and ignore our own hearts. We lose touch with who we truly are. Sometimes, we even pretend to be someone else because we are afraid of what others might think. We worry that if people see our real personality, they might not like us or accept us. So, we hide behind a mask. This mask can be polite smiles, fake confidence, and pretending to agree with everyone. We laugh even when we don't feel like laughing. We join activities or conversations that do not make us happy, just to feel like we belong. At first, pretending may feel easier. People may like us and we may feel safe. But over time, it becomes tiring and heavy. Pretending takes a lot of energy. Slowly, we start to feel unhappy, lost, and disconnected from ourselves. The real you, the person with dreams, feelings, and passions, gets buried under layers of what we think others want from us. The first step to stop this cycle is awareness. You need to notice when you are pretending or ignoring your own feelings. Start paying attention to your thoughts, passions, and the things that bring you joy. When you reconnect with your real self, life begins to feel more meaningful. Decisions become easier because they come from your heart, not fear or pressure. Being true to yourself does not mean ignoring responsibility or the people you care about. It means finding a balance. You can respect others and listen to their advice while still making choices that are true to your heart. Living authentically brings peace, confidence, and satisfaction. You feel lighter, happier, and more alive. You stop living for approval and start living for yourself. This is the essence of becoming who you really are. When you combine this journey of self-discovery with learning English, something amazing happens. English is no longer just a language to memorize. It becomes a way to express your thoughts, feelings, and identity. Speaking English starts to feel natural and confident because you are speaking from your heart. Your words reflect who you truly are, and that makes communication meaningful and powerful. Living freely and honestly is not always easy. Society puts a lot of pressure on us. From a young age, we are taught what success looks like, what beauty standards are, and how we should behave to be valued. We are told that to be important or respected, we must be successful, attractive, popular, or rich. Social media often shows seemingly perfect lives. It is easy to compare ourselves to others. We see people who appear happy, successful, or admired, and we may start to feel like we are not enough. But this is not true. Everyone has a different story, a different background, and a different path in life. What makes someone else happy may not make you happy, and that is completely okay. Becoming who you really are means accepting your own path, even if it looks different from everyone else's. You're allowed to move at your own pace. You are allowed to be unique. Your differences are what make you special. You do not need to follow someone else's map. You can draw your own map and create your own path in life. When you start living as your true self, something wonderful happens. You feel a deep inner peace. You no longer need to pretend or wear a mask to make others happy. You stop wasting energy trying to impress people or follow rules that do not belong to you. Instead, you can simply be yourself. You begin to feel comfortable in your own skin, and your choices start reflecting your heart and your values. Daily life feels lighter, calmer, and more meaningful. For example, when you spend time doing what you truly enjoy, whether it is reading, painting, cooking, dancing, helping others, or learning something new, you feel alive. You feel a connection to your purpose and passion. That quiet, deep joy you feel when you are living authentically is priceless. It comes from being aligned with your true self, not from seeking approval from others. Of course, discovering who you really are is a journey, not a quick fix. It does not happen overnight. It requires honesty, patience, and self-reflection. Along the way, you will grow, change, and learn. You may make mistakes, feel lost, or face challenges. That is perfectly normal. Every experience, even the difficult ones, teaches you something valuable about yourself. It helps you understand what you want, what you value, and what makes you feel fulfilled. It is also important to remember that living authentically does not mean ignoring responsibilities or the people around you. It means finding a balance between your needs and your responsibilities while staying true to your heart. You do not need to rush or compare yourself to anyone else. Your journey is your own, and it is beautiful simply because it is yours. As you practice being yourself, your confidence grows, and so does your ability to express yourself in English. When you speak from your heart, your words feel natural and meaningful. Your English becomes a tool to share your true thoughts and feelings with the world. Every small step toward your real self is also a step towards speaking and living with authenticity. Remember, becoming who you really are is a process. It takes time, courage, and patience, but the rewards are great. You gain peace, joy, and a life that feels truly yours. As you continue your journey, you also continue learning, growing, and expressing yourself more fully in English and in life. The most important thing on this journey is to keep asking yourself gentle but powerful questions like, is this really me? Is this what I truly want? Am I being honest with myself? These questions help you see the truth more clearly. Slowly, bit by bit, you start moving closer to your true self. When we say become who you really are, we are not asking you to become a completely different person. You don't have to change into someone new. Instead, it is about coming back to yourself, the real you who has always been there. This real you may have been hidden under fear, pressure, and other people's expectations, but it is still inside. It is your unique voice, your dreams, and your true nature, waiting to be recognized. Becoming yourself is about remembering who you are, choosing honesty instead of pretending, choosing peace instead of stress, and choosing self-love instead of comparison. When you make these choices, life starts to feel real, meaningful, and beautiful. You stop living for other people's approval and begin living for the truth inside you. As we continue this journey, let's explore how to know yourself better. The first step to becoming who you really are is to know who that person is. Take a deep breath, relax your mind, and open your heart. The journey toward your real self continues here. When you start living authentically, something wonderful happens. Your life begins to feel lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. Being yourself may sound simple, but it brings deep benefits that touch every part of your life, your mind, your body, and your relationships with others. Let's explore some of these benefits. 1. More happiness and inner peace. When you are true to yourself, you stop pretending or hiding. You no longer try to live up to other people's expectations. This brings a sense of relief, calm, and contentment. Simple things, spending time on hobbies, reading, walking in nature, or helping others, bring real joy. Happiness begins inside and spreads to every part of your life. 2. Better relationships. When you are honest about who you are, people can see the real you. You stop pretending just to be liked. This helps you attract friends, partners, and colleagues who appreciate you for who you truly are. Your relationships become more meaningful, and you feel genuinely connected to others. 3. More confidence. Being yourself helps you feel secure in your choices and actions. You no longer fear judgment because your self-worth comes from within, not from what others think. You can speak up, share your ideas, and take action without constant worry about approval. This confidence also strengthens your English speaking and communication because you speak with honesty and clarity. 4. A life that feels meaningful. When your choices match your heart and values, every action becomes purposeful. Even small things, like doing work you enjoy or helping someone in need, feel satisfying. You start living a life that feels authentic, not just ordinary. By embracing who you really are, your mind, heart, and body all benefit. You feel lighter, freer, and more alive. Life feels beautiful, not because everything is perfect, but because you are living in alignment with your true self. One of the greatest benefits of becoming who you really are is peace of mind and inner happiness. When you stop pretending to be someone else, you stop wasting your energy worrying about what others think. You no longer feel the pressure to fit into someone else's expectations. This allows you to enjoy even the small, ordinary moments in life, like taking a walk outside, reading a book, or having a simple conversation with a friend without stress or overthinking. For example, imagine a student who always pretends to enjoy sports just to fit in with classmates. Deep down, they do not really like it. They feel tired, frustrated, and disconnected because they are not doing what truly makes them happy. One day, the student decides to join the art club instead. They start painting, drawing, and writing stories. These activities feel natural and peaceful to them. Soon, they feel joy, calmness, and satisfaction because they are finally doing things that match their heart. When your actions align with your feelings and passions, life feels more alive, meaningful, and fulfilling. You smile more easily, feel lighter inside, and even small moments become joyful. Another important benefit of being yourself is better and deeper relationships. When you are honest about who you are, people can see the real you. True friends, supportive colleagues, and loving family members connect with you for who you truly are, not for the mask you put on. For example, at work, some people act confident or funny just to impress their boss or coworkers. While this may seem helpful, it often makes relationships feel forced, tense, or fake. On the other hand, when you act with honesty, politeness, and sincerity, people begin to respect you. They trust you because they know you are genuine. Relationships feel more natural, relaxed, and meaningful. The same applies to friendships. When you share your real thoughts, feelings, and interests, your friendships become stronger and more genuine. You attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for the role you pretend to play. These relationships bring comfort, support, and happiness. They are the kind of connections that last because they are built on truth and authenticity. Being yourself also helps reduce stress and anxiety. You don't have to constantly monitor your words, actions, or behavior to please others. You can speak and act freely, and life feels easier and lighter. Your energy is no longer wasted on pretending. Instead, you can spend it on things that matter to you, whether it is learning, exploring your passions, or helping others. This freedom and honesty improve both your emotional and mental health. Moreover, being authentic strengthens your self-confidence. When you accept and express your true self, you feel secure in your choices. You no longer rely on approval from others to feel good about yourself. This confidence shows in how you speak, act, and even how you learn. For example, when speaking English, being yourself allows you to express your ideas and feelings naturally. You make mistakes without fear, try new words, and communicate with clarity because your words come from your heart. In short, being yourself brings many positive changes: more happiness, peacefulness, deeper relationships, confidence, and a sense of meaning in life. It helps you connect with others, enjoy everyday moments, and live a life that truly reflects who you are. Another great benefit of being yourself is more confidence and self-acceptance. When you follow your own path and live honestly, you stop comparing yourself to others. You no longer feel the need to compete or copy anyone. You begin to understand that you are enough just as you are. True confidence does not come from being perfect or meeting everyone's expectations. It comes from accepting yourself, including your strengths and weaknesses, and trusting your own choices. For example, imagine a student who is quiet and shy. At first, they feel nervous about speaking in front of others. They may think that because they are not outgoing, they are not good enough. Over time, they realize that their careful thinking, listening skills, and kindness are valuable qualities. They might not talk a lot, but when they do, their words are thoughtful and meaningful. Slowly, they start to feel proud of themselves. Confidence grows naturally when you stop fighting who you are and begin trusting yourself. Another powerful benefit of being yourself is less stress and more emotional freedom. Pretending to be someone else, trying to please everyone, or hiding your true emotions can be exhausting. It makes your mind feel heavy and restless because you are constantly acting instead of living. When you decide to be authentic, you let go of that weight. You no longer need to act all the time. Your thoughts become clearer. Your heart feels lighter. Even everyday tasks like studying, cooking, or working start to feel more enjoyable. For example, imagine someone who always smiles and says they are fine, even when they feel sad. They hide their emotions because they are afraid of being judged. Pretending like this makes them tired, lonely, and disconnected from themselves. One day, they choose to open up to a close friend or family member and share honestly how they feel. Instead of judgment, they receive kindness, understanding, and support. That moment of honesty brings relief, comfort, and freedom. This is the power of being real. By expressing your true emotions, you lighten your heart and free your mind. Being yourself also improves your mental clarity and decision-making. When you stop trying to meet everyone else's expectations, your thoughts become calmer and more focused. You can see clearly what matters to you. You make choices that match your values and your heart. Life starts to feel simpler and more meaningful because you are no longer living under the pressure of pretending. In addition, being authentic strengthens your resilience. When you accept yourself and face life honestly, you can handle challenges with greater ease. You learn from mistakes instead of being overwhelmed by fear or self-criticism. You trust your ability to handle life as it comes. In short, being yourself brings many deep and lasting benefits: confidence, self-acceptance, emotional freedom, less stress, better focus, and stronger resilience. Your relationships improve, your mind feels lighter, and your life becomes more joyful and meaningful. Every small step you take toward living authentically makes your life easier, happier, and more peaceful. Another important step in becoming who you really are is learning to live authentically in everyday life. The benefits we have talked about, happiness, confidence, peace, and stronger relationships, don't only appear in big, life-changing moments. They also show up in small, everyday actions. For example, at school, you might choose activities that you genuinely enjoy instead of always following what your classmates do. If you love reading or drawing, allow yourself to spend time on those passions. At work, you might start speaking more openly about your ideas because you trust your own voice. You stop worrying about what others think and begin contributing in a way that feels natural to you. At home, you might spend your free time doing things that recharge your energy: reading, cooking, spending time with family or friends, or simply resting. These small, honest choices may seem simple, but over time, they add up. Your life starts to feel more balanced, joyful, and true to who you are. Being yourself is not always easy. It takes courage to ignore pressure from others, to stop pretending, and to honor your own feelings. But the rewards are very real. When you live as your true self, you don't need to chase perfection or follow someone else's rules. You simply live your truth, and that truth makes your life beautiful. Living authentically means aligning your actions with your heart and values. At work, this might mean focusing on tasks that match your strengths and bring you meaning. You may discover you are naturally good at certain things and feel more satisfied when you concentrate on them. With friends, living authentically means speaking your mind and sharing your feelings without fear or pretending. You no longer hide your thoughts to please others or fit in. Little by little, these honest choices create a life that feels more joyful, peaceful, and confident. Being yourself is not just about comfort or convenience. It affects every part of your life. You feel happier. Your relationships become deeper and more meaningful. Your confidence grows naturally. Your stress decreases. Even simple decisions, like choosing how to spend your time or what to say, can bring a sense of freedom and clarity. When you finally start to become who you really are, life begins to feel lighter and easier. You stop fighting your own truth and start living in harmony with yourself. The pressure to impress others, to follow rules that don't fit, or to hide your feelings gradually disappears. You feel more at peace. Even ordinary moments, like spending time with friends or pursuing hobbies, become joyful and fulfilling. Now that we understand the benefits of being yourself and living authentically, a big question arises. How do we actually find who we really are? How can we discover the real person inside us, beyond fear, pressure, and expectations? How can we connect with our true desires, dreams, and values? Finding your true self is a journey, and it begins with small steps, honest reflection, and gentle self-discovery. By taking the time to look inward, ask questions about your feelings, and notice what truly makes you happy, you start to reconnect with yourself. Over time, these moments of reflection and honesty help you uncover your real passions, strengths, and purpose. The path to becoming who you really are is gradual, but every step brings you closer to a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and peaceful. This question, how do we actually find out who we are, can feel tricky. Life often moves very fast. We wake up, go to work or school, follow routines, and do what everyone else is doing. Days, weeks, and months pass, and we forget to ask ourselves simple but important questions. Is this really what I want? Am I living a life that feels right for me? Many people go through life on autopilot, following rules, habits, and expectations without noticing if they are truly happy. But don't worry. Finding yourself is not a test or a race. It is a gentle process that takes time, patience, and care. You don't need to have all the answers in one day. What matters is taking small, meaningful steps in the right direction. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your real self. Here are a few ways to begin your journey. 1. Spend time alone. One of the first and most important steps in finding yourself is to spend time alone. Many people fear being alone because they think it means being lonely. But being alone is not the same as being lonely. Alone time is a gift. It is a quiet space where you can listen to your thoughts without noise, pressure, or distractions. During this time, ask yourself gentle but important questions. What do I truly enjoy? What makes me feel peaceful or excited? When do I feel most like myself? You might sit quietly in your room, take a walk in a park, write in a notebook, or simply relax without your phone. These moments allow your inner voice to speak, and that is how self-discovery begins. For example, Anna, a busy student, always spent her time with friends. She never had a quiet moment for herself. One evening, she decided to take a short walk alone. During that walk, she noticed she loved watching the sunset and taking pictures of nature. This small realization led her to try photography. Over time, it made her feel calm, creative, and happy. Spending time alone gave her the space to discover a new part of herself, something she would never have noticed in the noise of her busy life. 2. Try new things. Another helpful way to discover who you are is to try new activities and experiences. When you explore different hobbies, sports, or skills, you learn more about your strengths, preferences, and passions. Maybe you enjoy painting, cooking, dancing, or learning new languages. Or maybe you feel alive when helping others, volunteering, or solving problems. Trying new things helps you break away from old habits and expectations. It allows you to see what feels natural and exciting for you, instead of what others say is good or right. Even small experiments, like joining a club, taking a short course, or learning a new skill online, can reveal hidden talents and interests. The key is to approach new experiences with an open mind and curiosity, not pressure to succeed. Each small exploration brings you closer to understanding your true self, your likes, dislikes, values, and what makes you feel alive. By combining quiet reflection with trying new things, you begin to reconnect with your inner voice. You start noticing what really matters to you and what makes life meaningful. Over time, these small, thoughtful steps help you uncover the real person inside, the person who has always been there, waiting to be recognized, free from fear, pressure, or expectations. Another important step in finding who you really are is to try new things. Sometimes we think we already know what we like or don't like, but the truth is, we often don't know until we try. Exploring new activities, hobbies, or experiences helps you understand yourself better. You might discover talents, interests, or sides of your personality that you never knew existed. For example, you might think you don't like sports. But when you try swimming, you realize it helps you relax, clears your mind, and gives you energy. Or maybe you decide to learn guitar and discover that music helps you express feelings that words can't describe. Every new experience teaches you something important: what feels right, what doesn't, what excites you, and what drains your energy. Life is full of possibilities, and you just need to give yourself permission to explore. There is no single right or wrong path. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to understanding yourself. Another key step is listening to your heart, not just others. People around you, parents, teachers, friends, or colleagues, will always have opinions about what you should do. Their advice can sometimes be useful, but ultimately, you are the one living your life. Only you can truly know what feels right for you. Listening to your heart means paying attention to the quiet inner voice that says, "This feels right," or "This doesn't feel like me." For example, Mark always heard from his friends that studying business was the best way to earn money. So he followed their advice, even though deep down he didn't enjoy it. What he really loved was teaching. Teaching made him feel alive, excited, and fulfilled. One day, he finally decided to listen to his heart and pursue teaching. From that moment, he felt a new kind of happiness, the happiness that comes from living a life that truly matches who you are. Finding who you really are is not about changing yourself into someone completely different. You are not trying to be perfect or meet other people's expectations. It is about discovering the person who has always been inside you and giving that person permission to live. It's about reconnecting with your dreams, values, and passions, and letting your life reflect them. This process takes time and patience. It is normal to feel confused, make mistakes, or sometimes even doubt yourself. But every small decision, every new experience, and every moment you listen to your heart helps you understand yourself a little more. Over time, your choices feel more natural, your days feel more joyful, and your life begins to reflect your true self. Remember, self-discovery is a journey, not a race. It doesn't matter how slowly you move as long as you keep taking steps forward. Try new things, spend quiet time alone, and listen carefully to your heart. By doing these things, you gradually uncover the real you, the person who is unique, valuable, and capable of living a life full of meaning, joy, and authenticity. One of the most powerful tools on this journey is trusting your inner voice. When you listen to it, you begin to live more honestly. You start making choices that truly fit you, rather than following what others expect. Your inner voice knows what is right for you. even if it feels small or quiet at first. Learning to notice, it is a key step in self-discovery. Another important step is noticing your feelings. Your emotions are like gentle messages from your heart. They show you what feels right and what doesn't. When you feel happy, calm, or excited, it usually means something in your life is in harmony with your true self. On the other hand, when you feel stressed, bored, or uncomfortable, it might be a sign that something isn't a good fit. For example, imagine spending time with people who drain your energy. You might feel tired, frustrated, or anxious afterward. Or perhaps you do a certain job or task that leaves you feeling low and unhappy. These feelings are signals showing you that your life might not match your real personality or interests. By paying attention to your emotions, even small ones, you begin to understand yourself better and make choices that feel authentic. The next step is accepting both your strengths and weaknesses. Many people focus too much on mistakes, failures, or things they are not good at. True self-knowledge means seeing the whole picture, your strengths, your weaknesses, and everything in between, and saying, "This is me, and that's okay." You don't need to be perfect to be real. For example, maybe you're shy, but that also makes you a thoughtful listener who notices details that others miss. Maybe you struggle with certain subjects in school, but you are creative, kind, and caring. Everyone has light and shadow, strengths and weaknesses, and both parts are important. When you accept yourself fully, you stop fighting who you are and begin to feel comfortable and confident in your own skin. This self-acceptance gives you a sense of peace. You no longer waste energy pretending to be someone else or trying to meet impossible standards. You start living in a way that feels natural and honest. Every step you take, whether it's trying something new, spending quiet time alone, listening to your heart, or accepting yourself, brings you closer to your true self. By noticing your feelings and embracing your whole self, you create a foundation for a life that is joyful, meaningful, and authentic. Your choices align with who you really are. Your relationships become more genuine, and your mind feels lighter. Over time, you start to feel a quiet happiness that comes from knowing and accepting yourself. The journey of self-discovery is ongoing. It takes patience, gentle reflection, and honesty. But every moment you spend listening to your inner voice and accepting yourself is a step toward living fully as the person you were always meant to be. As you grow and learn to accept yourself, you begin to feel more peaceful and confident. You stop fighting with yourself and start feeling comfortable in your own skin. You no longer waste energy comparing yourself to others or trying to be someone you are not. For example, Sarah used to feel unhappy because she wasn't as outgoing or confident as her friends. She often compared herself and thought she wasn't good enough. Later, she realized that her quiet and calm nature made her patient, understanding, and caring, qualities that others really appreciate. Once she accepted these parts of herself, she started feeling happier and more relaxed. She didn't try to change anymore. She simply became herself, and life felt easier. Step 3. Write or talk about your dreams. Another powerful way to discover who you really are is to express your thoughts and dreams, either by writing them down or speaking about them. Writing is a wonderful tool for understanding your mind. You can keep a small journal or notebook where you write about your day, your feelings, or your goals for the future. You don't need perfect sentences or fancy words. The most important thing is honesty. If writing isn't your style, talking works just as well. You can speak with a trusted friend, a family member, a teacher, or even record your thoughts in voice notes for yourself. Expressing your ideas helps them become clearer and more real. For example, you might write something simple like, "I want to help people." As you think more about it, you may realize that you would like to study psychology, nursing, or social work. Writing or talking about your dreams helps you notice patterns, repeated ideas, and feelings. These patterns show what truly matters to you. It's like shining a light on the inside of your mind, helping you understand yourself better. Step 4. Remember, it's a lifelong journey. Finding who you really are is not a one-time task. It's not something you do once and then finish forever. Life is always changing, and you will keep learning new things about yourself as you grow, meet new people, and face new experiences. Some days you will feel clear, confident, and sure of yourself. Other days you may feel lost, unsure, or confused, and that's perfectly okay. Every experience, whether good or bad, teaches you something about your heart, your values, and your dreams. The key is to keep taking small steps, listening to your inner voice, exploring new activities, noticing your feelings, accepting yourself fully, and expressing your thoughts and dreams. These actions, repeated over time, help you connect with your true self. You gradually understand what makes you happy, what feels meaningful, and what kind of life you truly want to live. Life becomes lighter, calmer, and more joyful when your actions match your heart. You no longer need to live to meet others' expectations. You start living for yourself and your own truth. Life is full of ups and downs. Some days you might feel confident, clear, and full of purpose. Other days you might feel lost, unsure, or confused, and that is perfectly normal. The most important thing is to keep going. Stay curious about yourself. Be patient and kind to yourself. Even when life feels confusing, every small step you take, spending quiet time alone, trying new things, listening to your heart, noticing your feelings, accepting your strengths and weaknesses, and expressing your dreams, brings you closer to your true self. Remember, you are not trying to create a new person. You are simply uncovering the person who has always been inside you, waiting to be seen, understood, and loved. Accepting yourself is one of the most important parts of this journey. Many people spend too much time trying to change themselves to fit in, to be liked, or to match someone else's idea of who they should be. They hide their personality, their past, or even their mistakes. But real happiness begins the moment you stop fighting against yourself and start accepting who you are completely and honestly. Accepting yourself means saying, "Yes, this is me. I have good sides and bad sides. I have made mistakes and I have also learned from them." It means looking at your life, your personality, your past, and your experiences and seeing all of them as part of your story. You don't have to be proud of everything you've done, but you can accept that all of it has shaped who you are today. Every experience, whether good or bad, helps you grow and understand yourself better. For example, think about a time you made a mistake. Maybe you said something hurtful to a friend, failed an exam, or lost an opportunity at work. Many people carry memories of mistakes or failures for a long time. They may feel guilty, ashamed, or upset. But when you accept your mistakes, you realize that everyone fails sometimes. Mistakes are not the end of the world, they are lessons. Each failure teaches you something about yourself, your values, and how you want to live your life. Accepting yourself also means letting go of comparisons. You don't need to measure your worth against anyone else. Your journey is unique, and every small step you take matters. It's okay to move at your own pace, try different things, and even change your mind along the way. When you truly accept yourself, something wonderful happens. You start to feel lighter, more peaceful, and more confident. You stop pretending, stop hiding, and stop fighting your own nature. You begin to live in a way that feels honest and natural. Your heart feels calmer, your thoughts clearer, and your energy freer. Everyday life becomes more enjoyable because you are living for yourself, not for the approval of others. In short, self-acceptance is a key part of becoming who you really are. It allows you to embrace your whole story, your strengths and weaknesses, your successes and failures. When you accept yourself fully, you can finally live authentically, and life begins to feel more meaningful, joyful, and true. You are always meant to be a person who is authentic, confident, and at peace with themselves. When we make mistakes, it can be easy to feel bad about ourselves. But mistakes are not signs that we are bad people. They are opportunities to learn and grow. You can tell yourself, I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I'm human, and I can try again. Thinking this way changes how you see yourself and helps you move forward with more confidence and hope. Another important part of self-acceptance is loving your personality. Each person is unique. Maybe you're quiet and shy, or maybe you're loud and full of energy. Sometimes other people tell us we should be different, more outgoing, more serious, or calmer. When we hear these things often, we might start to think something is wrong with us. The truth is there is no single right way to be. Every personality brings something valuable to the world. For example, quiet people often notice details others miss, and they listen deeply to those around them. Energetic people bring excitement, creativity, and new ideas. Both types of personalities are needed. When you accept your personality, you stop comparing yourself to others. You begin to feel comfortable in your own skin. You no longer try to change just to fit in or please others. Instead, you start to shine as yourself, using your natural qualities to make a difference in your life and in the lives of others. It's also very important to accept your past. You cannot change what has already happened, but you can choose how to see it. Maybe there are regrets, mistakes, or painful memories that make you feel sad. Instead of trying to forget or erase them, you can look at what those experiences taught you. Every part of your past, even the difficult moments, has shaped who you are today. For instance, someone who went through a painful breakup might later become more caring, understanding, and respectful in future relationships. Painful experiences can become sources of wisdom if you allow yourself to learn from them. When you fully accept yourself, your mistakes, your personality, and your past, something wonderful happens. You begin to feel freedom and confidence. True confidence is not about thinking you are perfect. It comes from knowing yourself deeply and feeling at peace with who you are. You no longer feel the need to hide, pretend, or be someone else to be accepted. You can show up in the world just as you are, natural, honest, and free. For example, imagine a student who is naturally quiet. At first, they might feel shy or worried that others don't notice them. But when they accept that their quiet nature is a strength, they stop forcing themselves to be loud or outgoing. They start listening carefully, helping others, and expressing their thoughts in their own way. Over time, people respect and value them for who they truly are. This is the power of self-acceptance. It brings freedom, inner peace, and a real sense of confidence. Self-acceptance is a lifelong journey. Every day offers new opportunities to practice kindness toward yourself, honor your personality, forgive your past, and celebrate your growth. When you do this, life starts to feel lighter, more joyful, and more meaningful because you are living in harmony with who you truly are. When you accept yourself, something amazing happens. You feel freer. For example, if you speak English with an accent, you may have felt embarrassed in the past. You might have worried that people would judge you. But when you accept yourself, that fear begins to disappear. You stop focusing on what others might think and start focusing on expressing your ideas clearly. You relax, smile, and naturally feel more confident. Self-acceptance gives you the freedom to live, speak, and dream without fear. It's important to understand that self-acceptance does not mean you stop trying to improve. In fact, it allows you to grow in a much healthier way. When you accept yourself, you improve from love, not hate. You can still set goals, work hard, and develop new skills, but you do it while being kind to yourself. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, you can say, I'm learning, and that's okay. This positive approach gives you inner strength and peace. Nobody is perfect. Every person has struggles, fears, and insecurities, even those who seem confident. The more you accept yourself, the lighter and happier you feel. You start realizing that you don't need to become someone else to be worthy or happy. You are already enough. Accepting yourself is one of the bravest and most beautiful things you can do. It is like finally saying yes to your own heart. When you do this, you open the door to real confidence, inner peace, and the freedom to live as your true self. Knowing who you are and accepting yourself is just the beginning. The next step is living as that person in your daily life. Change does not happen all at once, and you don't need to fix everything overnight. Real transformation happens step by step, choice by choice. Every small, honest action helps you align with the person you truly want to be. The first step is expressing yourself honestly. This means acting and speaking in ways that match your heart. You don't need to agree with everything just to fit in. It's okay to politely say, "I don't think so," or share a different opinion. If you have an idea, don't hide it. For example, if you love art, don't stop painting because others say it's not practical. You might share your artwork with friends or post it online. Every time you express yourself honestly, you build confidence and live closer to your true self. Small actions matter. At school, choose activities you genuinely enjoy instead of always following your friends. At work, share your ideas without fear of judgment. At home, spend time on hobbies that make you happy, creative, and relaxed. These small steps may seem simple, but over time, they lead to big changes. When you live honestly, life feels lighter, calmer, and more meaningful. Your energy is no longer wasted on pretending or pleasing everyone. You feel more connected to yourself, peaceful, and confident. Your relationships also improve because people begin to see the real you. They respect you for your honesty and authenticity. Self-acceptance and living honestly are the keys to freedom, happiness, and confidence. You don't need to change who you are to be valuable or loved. Instead, accept yourself, trust your heart, and start expressing your true self daily. Step by step, small action by small action, you become the person you've always wanted to be: peaceful, confident, and fully alive. Sometimes we feel we must change to fit in with friends or society. But the truth is, you don't have to pretend. If your friends enjoy sports, but you love painting or drawing, it's okay to talk about your art instead of pretending to like what they like. The more you express your real thoughts and feelings, the freer and happier you will feel. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be yourself. The next important step is taking small actions toward your true self. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start living their truth. But that moment is now. Begin with small steps every day. If you love writing, write a few lines daily. If you want to be kinder, smile at someone or say a kind word. Small actions may seem simple, but they build habits that change your life. Little steps lead to big changes, and slowly you become closer to the person you truly want to be. Another key step is to stop pretending and stop comparing yourself to others. Trying to be someone else or measuring yourself against others only pulls you away from your true path. You are not here to live someone else's life. You are here to live your own. Social media, movies, or people around you may make you feel that you need to be richer, more beautiful, or more successful. But that is not true. Every person has a unique story, and your journey is special. When you stop comparing, you start to respect yourself and the path you are on. Choosing your values and acting on them is also very important. Knowing yourself means understanding what matters most to you. Your values define the kind of person you want to be: honest, kind, creative, brave, or peaceful. When you know your values, your choices start to match who you are inside. For example, if kindness is important to you, you might help someone in need or speak gently to others. If learning is important, spend a few minutes reading every day. It's not about doing big or impressive things, it's about small, consistent actions that reflect your true self. As you do these steps, your confidence will grow naturally. Confidence does not appear overnight. It develops slowly, each time you act in line with your true self. Every honest choice, every small step you take, helps you trust yourself more. You begin to see that you are capable, valuable, and enough just as you are. Over time, these small actions combine to create a life that feels more authentic, peaceful, and fulfilling. Living as your true self is a journey, not a race. It takes patience, courage, and consistency. Some days you will feel confident and clear, and other days you may feel uncertain or lost. That is normal. The key is to keep going. Keep exploring yourself, expressing your thoughts and feelings, and acting in ways that match who you truly are. Little by little, you build a life filled with honesty, meaning, and joy. Being yourself does not mean changing overnight or becoming perfect. It means taking small, real steps toward living your truth. It means expressing what matters to you, making choices based on your values, and slowly building confidence in who you are. When you do this, life starts to feel lighter, freer, and more beautiful because you are living in harmony with your own heart, not fighting against it. Each day, every choice, and every action brings you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Confidence and personal growth don't happen all at once. They grow slowly, like a small plant becoming a strong tree. Every small step you take, every moment you act with courage, and every time you try again after a mistake adds to your confidence and brings you closer to your true self. When you make a mistake, it's normal. Don't be too hard on yourself. Instead of saying, "I failed," try saying, "I learned something new today." Every mistake is part of learning and progress. One of the most powerful ways to grow into your true self is to treat yourself like a good friend. Think about how you forgive your friends when they make mistakes. Do the same for yourself. Celebrate small victories, speak kindly to yourself, and be patient when you feel tired, sad, or unsure. You're human, and you are learning how to live honestly and courageously. Becoming who you really are does not mean changing into a completely different person. It means being real. It means living your truth with kindness and courage. Even when the world tries to push you to be something else, you don't need to rush or be perfect. One small step at a time is enough. Every honest action, every kind thought, and every brave choice brings you closer to your true self. You become the person you were always meant to be, not by changing who you are, but by allowing yourself to be who you truly are inside. Once you start knowing yourself and living more honestly, the next step is growing into your true self. Growth is not instant. It's a slow and beautiful process, like a tree growing from a tiny seed into something strong and full of life. Becoming your real self means letting yourself change, learn, and improve while staying true to your heart. Growth comes in many forms. It can be learning new skills, developing good habits, understanding your emotions better, or improving your relationships. Sometimes growth happens through challenges or mistakes. Difficult moments teach patience, resilience, and understanding. Even small steps, like choosing honesty over pretending, saying your true thoughts respectfully, or showing kindness, are acts of growth. These actions gradually strengthen your confidence, make your mind clearer, and lighten your heart. Another key part of growing into your true self is accepting change in yourself. You are not the same person you were yesterday, and you will not be the same tomorrow. Interests, feelings, and perspectives may shift, and that is okay. Real growth comes when you allow yourself to change naturally, without judgment or pressure. Each stage of life adds depth to your understanding of yourself. Growth is a lifelong journey. Some days feel easy and full of purpose. Other days may feel confusing, slow, or frustrating. That is normal. The most important thing is to keep moving forward, bit by bit, day by day. Every small act of honesty, courage, kindness, or self-reflection strengthens your connection to your true self. Over time, these small efforts create a life that feels genuine, peaceful, and fulfilling. Becoming and growing into your true self is a journey of patience, courage, and self-love. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to rush. Take small steps every day. Act honestly, listen to your heart, and allow yourself to learn and change. That is how confidence grows, how peace is found, and how the real you emerges strong, free, and alive. Life never stays the same. Every experience, challenge, success, and even failure teaches you something new about yourself. The person you were 5 years ago is not the same as the person you are today, and that's completely okay. Change is natural. What matters is that you keep learning and moving forward in a direction that feels right for you. You don't grow to impress others. You grow to live a life that feels real, peaceful, and meaningful. One of the best ways to grow into your true self is to set goals that match your values. Goals give you focus and direction, but they should come from your heart, not from pressure or fear of what others think. For example, if kindness is one of your values, you might set a goal to help one person each day. If creativity is important, your goal could be to spend 15 minutes each day writing, drawing, or creating something new. These goals don't have to be big. What matters is that they connect with who you truly are inside. When your goals match your values, every small step feels meaningful and satisfying. Another important part of growth is learning new skills and facing your fears. Many people hold themselves back because they are afraid of failing, being judged, or not being good enough. But real growth starts the moment you step outside your comfort zone. Even small acts of courage can make a big difference. For instance, imagine someone who always wanted to paint but never tried because they thought, "I'm not talented enough." One day, they decide to paint for just 10 minutes each week. At first, it feels awkward, but over time, they start to enjoy it. After a few months, their paintings improve, their mind feels calmer, and they become happier and more confident. This is the magic of growth. Small, brave steps lead to real change. Growth is also about noticing how you change and learning from it. Life is full of lessons. Every experience, whether good or bad, teaches you something about yourself. When you reflect on what you've learned, you can make better choices in the future. For example, failing a test might feel disappointing, but it can teach you how to study better or ask for help. Going through a difficult moment with a friend might feel sad, but it can show you the value of patience and understanding. Growth happens in both big and small moments, in victories and in mistakes. As you grow, you also learn to be more patient and kind with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and practice. Every step you take, even a small one, counts. Every new skill you learn, every fear you face, and every small goal you achieve helps you become a stronger, more confident, and more authentic version of yourself. Growth is a lifelong journey. You will continue to learn new things about yourself as you age, meet new people, and experience new situations. Some days will feel clear and purposeful, while other days may feel confusing or uncertain. Both are normal. The important thing is to keep moving forward, exploring your true self, and making choices that align with your heart. Over time, these small steps build a life that feels meaningful, joyful, and true. Set goals that reflect your values. Goals give you focus and direction, but they should come from your heart, not from pressure or fear of what others think. For example, if kindness is important to you, you might aim to help one person each day. If creativity matters, you could spend 15 minutes each day writing, drawing, or creating something new. Small goals that match your values help every step feel meaningful. Face your fears and try new things. Many people hold themselves back because they are afraid of failing, being judged, or not being good enough. Real growth starts the moment you step outside your comfort zone. Even small acts of courage can make a big difference. For example, if someone always wanted to paint but never tried, Starting with just 10 minutes a week can lead to progress, enjoyment, and confidence over time. Small, brave steps lead to real change. Notice your growth. Life is full of lessons. From time to time, look back and see how far you've come. Maybe you are more confident, patient, or honest than before. Even the smallest changes matter. Celebrate them. Every improvement is proof that you are growing closer to your true self. Be kind to yourself. Growth is not about perfection. Perfection is impossible and unnecessary. Real growth is about becoming more fully yourself, more open, brave, loving, and aware of what matters to you. You don't need to be the best at everything. You just need to keep learning, trying, and taking one step at a time. Every honest choice, act of kindness, and step outside your comfort zone helps you grow. Common mistakes people make while trying to live as their true self. Trying to change everything at once. Some people feel they must transform their habits, work, lifestyle, or personality immediately. This often leads to stress, frustration, and overwhelm. Real change takes time. Focus on small steps. If you love painting but never tried it, start with 10 minutes a week. If you want to speak more honestly with friends, share one true thought each day. Slow progress is still progress. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison is common, especially with social media, school, or work, but it can be harmful. Everyone has a unique story, challenges, and strengths. Comparing yourself to others distracts you from your own path and can make you feel discouraged, anxious, or less worthy. Instead, focus on your journey. Celebrate your progress, your small steps, and your values. Remember, every experience, choice, and small step brings you closer to your true self. Growth is slow, steady, and personal. Be patient, gentle, and kind with yourself. Keep moving forward, and you will continue to become the person you were always meant to be. Your journey is unique, and your pace is perfect for you. Mistake 3. Ignoring your feelings. Sometimes people try to live as their true selves, but ignore how they feel. They might push themselves to do what others want, even if it doesn't feel right. Your emotions are important signals. If something makes you uncomfortable, anxious, or unhappy, it's okay to step back and listen. Noticing and honoring your feelings helps you make choices that truly match your heart. Mistake 4. Expecting perfection. Some people believe that being their real self means being perfect, having the perfect job, personality, or habits. But perfection is impossible. Real growth is not about being flawless. It's about being honest, kind, and true to yourself. Mistakes, struggles, and learning are all part of the journey. Accepting yourself as you are while still growing is the key to freedom and happiness. Mistake 5. Giving up too quickly. Growth takes time. You may feel discouraged if change doesn't happen immediately or compare yourself to others. That's normal. The important thing is to keep going. Every small step, honest action, and brave choice brings you closer to your true self. Celebrate small victories and be patient with yourself. Remember, becoming who you really are is a gradual process. You don't need to rush, and you don't need to be perfect. Focus on taking small, meaningful steps, listening to your feelings, and staying true to your heart. Over time, these small actions create real growth. You will feel more confident, peaceful, and free. Your journey is yours alone.